Oh boy, folks, we got a good one for you this week. I am thrilled to be talking to the one, the only Mega Ran, a guy whose music I have loved for a long time. He has an incredible new kids album out called Buddy's Magic Treehouse, and I love this album. My family loves this album. We're going to talk about it. So please go check out all of Mega Ran's stuff, but especially this new album. As always, patreon.com/Leighton Night to support the show. You know the deal. Video episodes, including this week, ad-free versions of the episode, any tier, $5 a month or more gets you an extra mini episode every week. Anyway, check out that new Mega Ran album and enjoy this episode. I'm just going to start out with the obvious thing. I'm going to address the elephant in the room, which is, dude, I love this album. I love this album. It is so great. I was trying to think of another kid's album that starts with bass clarinet. And
you probably won't find one.
I couldn't think of anything.
Fun story about that. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad someone mentioned the bass clarinet so I could tell this story. Rainbow Smite is her username. She was a Patreon subscriber for a long time and a Kickstarter backer who picked one of the reward levels where you could play on the album. Mm-hmm. And so the first album I did one where one of my Patreon subscribers hosted the album. He's like, "Hey guys, welcome to Buddy's Magic Toy Box." So this one for the Treehouse, I was like, all right, if you can play any instrument at all, just play it. Just toot it. Just do whatever you do. Get your pet, whatever, and play, and I will find a place for it on the intro. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, she sent me maybe 5 minutes of just kind of playing on the bass clarinet. And I'm like, of all the instruments I have on this record, I do not have a bass clarinet. So, yep. That was, oh my gosh, I have to thank her so much for doing that.
Because it is such a, like, immediately I was like, oh my God, whoa, what? Like, this is a different sound, you know?
Yeah, it's something different.
And it's such a great sound. Like, I love bass clarinet. And just to have it straight from the get, like, it's just this immediate sonic hook, which I was just like, it's so great. Or did you, let's introduce the show and you real quick. Everybody, this is Leighton Night with Brian Wecht. My name is Brian Wecht. Leighton she had something come up at the last minute today, so it's just me and our guest, mystery guest. Could you please introduce yourself?
I am Mega Ran, teacher, rapper, some say hero.
Yeah, I'd go that far. Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, hero. Yeah. Cool. Great. And we were, just to tell everybody, we were connected because we both do kid music, and our mutual friend and publicist, Steph Mayers, emailed me and, said, "Hey, you want to talk to Mega Ran?" I was like, hell yeah. I mean, I believe the word I used when talking about you was legend, which I think is totally true. I mean, dude, I've been a fan of your stuff for forever. Feels like.
Thank you. And we immediately started talking about MagFest, which brought me some great memories. I'm actually going to play Mag West in a month or so.
No way. Cool.
Out in the Bay Area, and Mag is so instrumental to like the Mega Ran story. It's kind of where I first kind of found my tribe and my people, so to speak. And I feel like everyone does when they get there. They're like, oh wow, there are people like me. Like, we love video game music. We love community.
Yeah,
and so,
exactly.
Yeah, it's a beautiful time coming together like that. And so Mag used to do a jam stage at PAX back in the day. So when I would go to PAX in Boston or in Seattle, they'd have a room off to the side, which would be called the MagFest Jam Room.
I love that.
And you'd go in there and someone's going to be playing Dr. Wily on, something. I mean, you're going to see a group of kids playing some of your favorite video game music. Yeah. And so I would go into that room and do like a secret concert like every year. Where I'm like, all right, it's the Mega Ran meetup on Sunday. We're all going to get together. And one day, man, it was just like packed in there. And I remember I was like, what are all these people here for? And then someone said, they're here for your show. And I'm like, wait, what? And we just had a blast. And ever since then, they were like, you have to come to MagFest. And we did. And it's been over a decade now where it's literally been my absolute favorite, like, highlight of the year.
Yeah. I mean, I something not too dissimilar for me for MagFest. That was the first time So my band Ninja Sex Party did our first ever like, holy shit, how did all these people get here thing at MagFest. We had just, so my partner in that band, Dan, who's on Game Grumps, had joined semi recently, and then we showed up at MagFest, and we were in the big ballroom, it was a 4,000 cap room, and it was packed.
Yeah.
And it was our headlining set. And it was the first time we ever did a set for that many people where it was like, wait a minute, are people actually here to see us? Like, really? Really? This has to be a mistake, right? This isn't us. And then that was at MagFest in, at the Gaylord. Was it National Harbor? Is that the official city?
Yes.
And that was a big part. I haven't been in many, many years. I think the last time was maybe 2016 even. But yeah, I have a lot of fond memories of showing up at that big hotel and being like, all right, what cool people are we going to run into?
For sure. Like as big as it is, it still feels like family. It still feels so familiar. It still feels like home, which is why I say there's really nothing else like MagFest in that you can create a environment where 20,000 nerds are all hanging out and you still feel totally comfortable, totally intimate.
Yep.
And you can make it as intimate as you want or as large as you want. So it's a really something that people have to see to believe, because it's like, people didn't think it existed, you know what I mean? Until you see it and you're like, oh, wow, there's just like a group of geeks here who really just love all the same stuff we do.
That's right. And it doesn't feel corporate in the same way like Comic-Con or anything like that does. It is very much a fan convention. Again, I haven't been in a long time, but it sounds like it's still
it's very much community based, and it's really a miracle, you know what I mean, that something like that can run, that be pretty much nonprofit and community driven, without, you go to PAX and other events and it's like, well, come to the Mountain Dew stage for,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
It gets a little corporate, and I understand, but yeah, like for something to grow, would still keep a community feel is a beautiful thing.
So when you're going there, are you doing panels, shows? Like what's your schedule?
Everything, any and everything. Usually, see, I have an issue where I don't know how to say no. And when you get into a place like that where there are hundreds of my friends there who all do cool things, someone's like, hey, do you want to go play a show? And I'm like, sure. And they're like, hey, do you want to come do a panel about video game music? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, hey, do you want to come do a panel about wrestling music? And I'm like, yeah. And then they're like, hey, do you want to come and watch some kids play with Game Boys? And I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
And so I wind up doing something maybe 5 or 6 hours out of each day where I have a different event planned, or at least I'm a part of someone else's event. Primarily I go there for a Mega Ran concert. Yeah. But the concert, and then but in between that, it's like guest appearances on other people's sets, or you want to come and play on this set, you want to go do something here, because it's a really good time for team ups, because we don't all get to be in the same room very often. Yeah. So you get to make these special moments where you're like, we worked with each other on the internet, and we've done virtual podcasting, like this, but wouldn't you love to do it in real life?
Yeah.
And so that opportunity, usually leads to a lot of really cool collaborations, but it leads to me being exhausted by the end of the weekend. So I've told myself that if I play this year, if knock on wood, I am just going to do a Mega Ran set. I will not overextend myself. Hopefully I'll bring the whole family. And we'll just be able to relax a little bit.
So how do your catalog is so deep. I mean, the amount of music you put out is bananas. Like, how do you pick a set with everything that you have going on?
Ugh.
Like it's,
that's a tough challenge. I always try to say like, okay, one for them, one for me kind of thing.
Exactly. Yep.
Where it's like, all right, give them the top, whatever, track on YouTube or Spotify, and then a deep cut that I really love, or whatever I felt like would be a good, contrast to that song. And that's kind of how I've been coming up with my sets for the last, decade or so, where it's like, yes, I know the big songs. We got to play some of the big songs, but I can always squeeze in a few of my, unsung, personal favorites, just to kind of keep myself happy and engaged in the moment. So I make sure I got to make a little bit of time for myself. within the set.
No, you got to, right? Like that's the only real way to do it. You don't want to just do the popular stuff, because after a while, I mean, as you say, you got to do it, but after a while, it's like even your most popular, the song you love, after the 300th time, it's kind of like, all right.
Yeah, you got to do something that, even if it's like, I love like playing with other musicians. So we're like, okay, we can put another rendition on this. We can do another spin, kind of remix it a little bit, change up the second verse and do something really funky, you know, like just something to keep it fun and interesting and different. And that's a good thing about MagFest, because there's so many musicians that are all in the same building.
Right.
We can say, oh man, I really need a kick-ass guitar solo here, you know, so I can always find somebody.
Do you ever bring gear and record at MagFest? Like, have you ever recorded stuff there? It's challenging because it's not a great like recording environment, but
I've had friends do that where they like they'll bring podcasting equipment and podcasting rooms and things, but or actually a good friend of mine, Kadesh Flow, he recorded an album called Room Service, and it was recorded in a hotel, I think during MagFest.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know, so that's pretty cool. So he would just invite people in like, hey, come on over, you know, collaborate on this one with me. And but me, I can't do that.
No, like, I couldn't either. Like, it's just too much going on. And then
just one part of the brain at a time for me, you know, like when I tour, people ask me like, well, while you're touring, do you write? No, I do not.
Same.
Like, I just can't use that part of my brain at that moment. I'm thinking about where we have to be the next day and where we're staying. And
100%. In fact, I like, I've tried, I'll bring a little like MIDI keyboard with me and, you know, try to do stuff. And it just like,
every time I say I'm going to do it, I don't do it. Like, it never fails. I'm like, oh, I'm going to write this time. I haven't bought this thing. Let me show you. This is called a stylophone.
Oh, I know the thing. Sure.
You know this thing?
Yeah, I do know that thing. Yep.
I was like, oh, this is perfect for the road. It's got a little stylus. It's battery operated. I'll be sitting in the back of the van and I'm going to just bang out some tracks and have fun.
I know.
Never used it.
No.
3 weeks on the road.
It's like,
didn't use it.
I find the same thing with bringing a book on tour. It's like, surely in 3 weeks I can finish a book, right? Nope.
No. It's just like, happening. And you think like all you're doing is sitting around, you know, you're just sitting there, you're just sitting in a van if you're not driving, you know, but when I was out, I didn't drive at all. We did the entire country. So I was like, I'm going to have plenty of time. And I don't have plenty of time, it turns out.
No, we just got off tour a couple of weeks ago, and I was trying to explain to a friend, it's like on paper, you have so much free time, like more free time, you know, especially like, you know, both got kids, like you don't have to deal with the kids, you know, you kind of have your own thing going on. But in practice, so much of it goes to like mental energy and just taking moments for yourself. And it's like in practice, you don't got the time. Yeah. No,
you don't. It's like, it's so difficult, you know, but it's hard for someone who doesn't live that life to see that.
That's right.
You know, it's like, you know, the hurry up and wait of it all.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
That's right.
It's like, all right, you got to get to this venue and then you got to sit around. You know?
I feel like it's like the same people who are like, you have so much time, are the same people who are like, oh, teachers, you're only working 9 months of the year. What a chill job. And it's like, come on, dude.
Oh, boy.
Like you have no idea what you're talking about.
Who are those people so I can punch them in the face? Because, oh my God. Seriously, I taught for 5 years and it was rough.
Yeah. I did high school. I taught high school for 1 year. And that was rough enough where I was like, okay, I think this is not for me. And then I was a university professor for a little while too.
Okay.
But that's totally different gig.
Yeah. I feel like that's what I would feel a little more comfortable doing than being in the classroom. I taught 8th graders and it is just, it's pretty much like playing a show, but like all for 8 hours.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And they're not, at least initially, on your side necessarily either. Right. Like, depends on the kids, I would imagine, but that's a tough crowd.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. With high school, I taught 9 through 12. I taught math and also not really. Yep. Some kids are great and there to do it. And other kids are not there to do it. And it just depends.
Yeah.
But
I see a lot of similarities though in performing and in like, you know, teaching. It is in general, it's basically performing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You get up on a stage or on a podium and you're trying your best to get people to believe in you, more or less. You know, so you got to jump through a hoop. Maybe you got to make them laugh. You got to
Yep.
you give them what they need, and by the end of it, hopefully they appreciated the time that you spent together.
Yeah, you know,
But
I never really thought about it in the same way until right now, like winning over a crowd during a show, right? Except there you have your show's a year or whatever it is, 9 months, right? So you kind of have to, you get a little goodwill after you've been doing it for a few weeks or whatever. Like, okay, they're going to come in, they're going to be on your side, but it's very easy to lose that room if you do the wrong thing, right? And it's very easy to do the wrong thing. And especially at that, like 8th grade or 9th grade or whatever, you got kids who you don't know what the heck is going on in their lives or, you know, their heads that day. And they walk in and they're bringing all this baggage, like a crowd, but, you know, more serious if it's school. Like, and you just got to kind of meet them where they're at and figure out how to do it with them.
Yeah. I just saw a really interesting thing with a hip hop artist by the name of Russ. He had this really kind of big blow up online because he's playing, I think he's playing like arenas right now.
Wow.
And he had a fan kind of stop the show, making him believe that there was an emergency. And it was not an emergency situation. It was that they had drawn some art for him and wanted him to stop and look at it.
Oh my God.
And so, you know, and maybe you can do it a few different ways. If you're the performer, you can say, "Oh man, thanks a lot," and then move on to the next song. But he like stops the show like, "Hey man, that was really rude of you to interrupt this whole thing I'm having right now. Now I have to stop the entire show just for you.
In an arena.
And this is not cool. In an arena. So there's 10,000 people here. And now I have to stop it to acknowledge you. And that was very selfish. And that was rude of you." And so there were people in his comments like, "Oh, I was there. It was so rude. You shouldn't have done this. You made this guy feel so bad. All you had to do is just accept this gift," you know? Yeah. And it's like, man, but when you're on that stage in that zone and you're performing and you literally are thinking about all the people, it's a really tough spot to be in, you know? And he's like, "I'm not going to be gaslit. You guys are trying to make me feel like I'm a jerk. I'm not going to let you do it," you know? Yeah. And he got really upset about it. And I just was like, wow, like, thank goodness I've never been in that situation. But I can understand it, you know? I can feel like, man, totally. Like, you focus, and he's like, "Okay, well," someone is like, "Well, it took that person hours or maybe days to make that for him." And he's like, "Well, do you know how long I've been working on this set?"
Yeah.
You know how long I've been working on these songs? I'm trying to make everybody happy here, you know?
I think about this a lot too. We get all sorts of emails for like, we're going on tour. I'm sure you get the same thing. "Hey, can I propose to my partner at your show?" You know, that sort of thing. And typically, you know, with our show, we kind of don't answer those emails, but which makes it an implicit no, precisely because it's not, you know, as the audience member, it's not about you, right? It's about everybody. And I want to make this an event for everybody in the room, not just about that person and their partner. And this is, I think it is hard to convey that and not have people think, "Wow, what an ass!" Like, that's
you're
not
a
cool.
Jerk.
Yeah, because you know, at one level, it's like, "What, you hate love?" It's like, no. I love. That's great. Congratulations, you know. But yeah, I totally. There's also how you do it. You know, there's a way of like calling people out and, you know, being rough with them, or, you know, just kind of gently saying it. But you know, if you're in the middle of a big show, 10,000 people, and someone especially the making believe it's an emergency thing, that's wild. I definitely, just knowing those facts, I'm on his side.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. I'm like, you know, and I'm just reading through the comments, and there's just like a lot of fans who believe like this guy is totally in the wrong, and you should appreciate the people who spend the time to create the thing for you. And it's like, oh, what a tough spot to be in.
It is,
you know? And it's like, hey, you know, come to the meet and greet, you know?
That's right. Or, catch me after the show, or what,
this
you know,
is what
whatever.
After the show is about. Like, like just completely disregarding how long it may have taken him to set up and to create this show.
That's
that
right.
He wants to be special for everyone. And being like, but I drew this thing, you know?
Yeah, no, it's a tough spot. Do you think it's generational at all? I mean, you and I are about the same age. I think I just turned 50.
Okay, I'm almost there.
Yeah.
It's 100% generational, because of the amount of attention and time that we have to give to, say, on socials, you know, to fans, to, you know, to feed the algorithm, so to speak. You know, yes, I think it is generational. People now are used to having a certain amount of interaction, even control, dare I say, over what can happen. You know, I've seen people on Twitter that just say negative things to famous people just to get the reaction.
Right.
And the reaction, which would have made me like crawl into a hole and die, would be a badge of honor for them. You know, they'll put it in their bio, blocked by Ninja Sex Party on this date. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
100%.
People really get proud of that. You know, I got to them.
I used to have, for many years I was running the NSP socials, and I used to have a get blocked by NSP contest every once in a while. And I was like, so here's a tweet. Just respond to it, literally whatever. I'm not even going to look at the replies, so you don't have to throw hate at us or anything. Just respond to this. And one lucky person who responds to this tweet will be blocked permanently forever by Ninja Sex Party. So and I do it, and they'd say blocked forever. And occasionally, just to make sure no one was like freaking out, I would look at their account from, different profile or whatever. And it was always like, hell yeah, I got blocked by NSP. This is awesome. They were always psyched about it. And I was
excited about it.
Yeah.
Like you took the time to press a button and on my page, like you did that. So now I win, Yeah,
exactly.
And so, I think so. Yeah. To your point, the entitlement or just I think that is a generational thing where growing up with the internet has made people very used to getting reactions from, or even expecting reactions from people online. And just like the general oversharing of it all, sometimes can be also a product of that. Like, I don't know if I'd experienced that, if I'd go online and do a 5-minute thing on Instagram about it. I don't know if I would do that.
You talk about the getting interrupted at the concert.
If I got interrupted, I don't know if I would make this a thing now that people have to think about at the next show and the next show.
I definitely wouldn't. I'd be like,
I'm just probably would let it go because now, like at the next show, someone could say, "Well, here we go."
Then it becomes a thing.
Yeah, now it becomes a thing. Like everyone's doing it. So apparently, what they were doing was, I think there was a medical emergency in the crowd earlier, and someone passed out, and so they let them know, like, "Hey, sometimes you have to, if you need to get the, someone's attention, flash your phone at the stage, flash your phone." And so they did that, but it was not for an emergency. It was for, for my artwork.
Well, that's like doubly harmful because then when it is a real emergency, you're primed to take the next one less seriously. Right. And then we have someone else flashing their phone because someone just went down or whatever. Like, that's a big problem.
I think it's a two-way street of growing up on the internet, because I guess this guy's a little younger than us too, the artist. So I think that the act of sharing it could create the copycats of it all. You know what I mean? It's like, I remember, was it a Beyonce thing where like she had some photos come out of her that were not flattering during a performance. And then she went online and said, "Hey, could you guys please not share these photos?"
So this is a Streisand effect, right? That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
So everybody's like, you got it, no problem.
Yep.
Now they share them
constantly. Now it's the first thing that comes up when you image search or whatever. What was, since we're about the same, what was your first like internet experience? Like,
file sharing, I believe was, it was LimeWire.
Oh yeah.
It was the virtual trading of tapes, so to speak, where, a friend would come up with something or just get a hold of a new way to find the newest thing. Particularly it was music, and Napster, LimeWire, just getting a hold of new and exclusive or maybe underground music before other folks and being able to share it within my like college dorm and all that. Yeah. That was my first internet experience.
Do you remember like which was there one artist in particular you were like particularly excited to?
I think it was Eminem. I believe it was.
Cool.
Yeah. I think it turned out to be Eminem. We were able to find like early Eminem stuff. Like, oh, look, we got albums before he even, got famous and things like that.
Right.
And that was like a really cool thing that we were able to get a hold of. Piracy has even, helped me along the way. You know, I made an album about Mega Man,
Sure.
and I had a friend tell me that they found my album either on like Pirate Bay or somewhere
Uh-huh.
because someone had placed it inside of a folder that had all the Mega Man albums, like
Oh,
all the
wow.
Mega Man
Cool.
games
Yeah.
collections, and then there was like a bonus folder that had all of Mega Man, you know, video game music or tribute art that people had created, and my album was in there. And so that person became a fan, you know, for life because
Yeah.
someone was nice enough to just kind of stick me into this giant file.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you know, we've seen some positives of it for sure.
I
with
think
our
so
generation.
too. With like honestly, with that sort of stuff, with any of my projects, I'm like the people who are going to buy the music are generally going to buy the music, and if it just, I don't really worry about it too much. Yeah, it'd be
No.
nice if like everything generated a couple cents or whatever, but whatever. Like it's
Yeah, it's like whatever.
why
We don't
worry
own this
about
stuff
it?
anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the idea of owning digital music is ridiculous.
Mhm.
And, you know, maybe that's just my old showing through. But I'm like, if I can't pick it up and thumb through the liner notes, I don't own it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And as a video game player, we're seeing that more and more these days where
Yeah.
games will literally disappear
Oh yeah, for
from
sure.
virtual stores once licenses run out.
I know.
You
Yeah, and then
know,
it's just
and
gone.
It's just gone. It's like, oh, and then they tell you like, oh, by the way, you didn't buy this, you just borrowed it. You know,
Yeah.
you
That-
paid the price of buying it, but you know, you
Drives
didn't buy
me nuts. And yes, I think it's our age. I remember when and look, I understand from one standpoint, you buy a piece of software or a game or whatever, they want to do the updates, blah, blah, blah. I get it.
it. Mhm.
It's still the fact that they can just take it from you without your consent after you have been paying for it, sometimes for years in some cases,
Yeah.
is terrible. It feels like you should be able to at least like click a box that says, okay, I'm aware this is about to be taken, or what,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There should be some kind of consent involved in them taking this thing that you bought from you.
There really should
But-
be. Like,
yeah.
yeah, I'm like, but I spent so much money, I spent so much time, and that means nothing. You
Yeah.
know,
No, that's right.
Kind of wild.
And
I
same
think-
thing with kind of anything online these days. Like you can just get it taken from you without your consent. And
Yeah,
it sucks.
we're borrowing all this stuff.
I know.
You know, it worries me so much, especially in video games. Where like every game needs to be online constantly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like that's the first sign to me. Like, yeah, that means they can take
That's-
this away from me.
I think about this too with my age. I never go online to play games, even games with online stuff. I just want I'll maybe play locally with friends. I am
Yeah.
never ever doing the online multiplayer thing. I just personally have no interest in it. I don't care which game it is. It's never going to
Wow.
happen. And that is
Wow.
not the way most people are playing games these days.
No. Now I've been playing a lot of Fortnite with friends and
Uh-huh.
Mario Kart.
Yeah.
You know, and honestly,
the
the
new
most
Mario
fun,
Kart.
yeah,
The one that is it good?
and the most fun mode is this knockout mode where it's
Yeah.
like 24 people playing
Oh my
online
God.
and it's
Yeah,
just madness. And then you get to the finish line and it's like, all right, now the top 16 are going to make it. So
Right.
you better hurry. And then the next one, top 12, and then the next top 8, and then top 4. And I've never won one of these races, but I get so close. And then it just gets cutthroat by the end where it's just like, oh, one little, you didn't break enough on that turn and now it's over. You know.
Have you ever
But
done
it's
like
fun.
one of the battle, like the PUBG or anything like that, where it's like 100 people?
Oh gosh,
Going
no,
for
that
it.
sounds so
Me neither.
overwhelming. But
Yes.
Fortnite, the original, was kind of like that. 100 people were dropping in and things like that. But that's just too much to handle. But
Yeah.
I like the chaos of it though. But yeah, not when I'm losing. It's like, well, I just respawned and then someone's literally right behind you killing you.
Yeah. For me, so much of it is like when I'm playing games, it's kind of like my me time, and I want it to be my me time with just me doing a thing. I almost always go story mode, that sort of thing. Like
Yeah.
I just want to take that time and be a little bit cut off from the rest of the world. You know?
I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm like that with at least one game at a time. Like right now, I'm playing this game, Expedition 33. It's a really fun role playing game.
I think
and it's
someone
only single
just
player.
recommended that to me. I feel like on our
it's-
Discord for this podcast.
It's
Yeah.
spectacular. Oh my gosh, it's so good. If you're a fan of like old school turn-based RPGs,
Yes, very
Final
much so.
Fantasy, yeah, this is like the new version of that. And yeah, really really gets me like excited for what could happen with like a remake of like a Final Fantasy 8 or 9 or something,
Mhm.
because it feels like that. But yeah, this is like the game for me. Like I do a lot of streaming on Twitch where I'm playing games with people and letting people watch me play and things like that. But this one's just for me. So I've had people hit me up in the Discord like, "Are you ever going to just stream it?" And I'm like, "No, I need this one for me."
Because that's another thing with the boundary, issue. It's like when you're someone that exists online, and I don't really stream that much, but someone like you does stream regularly. You got to draw the boundary and say, "This is not content. This is fun. I'm going to do the other thing." And we, I'm sure you feel it too. There's this constant pressure to turn every single fun thing we do into. I could turn it into content, monetize it, whatever, turn it into this thing.
That was the first piece of advice that my Twitch partner manager said, like, "Oh, everything you do is content. Just turn the camera on." And I'm like, no, that's not fun at all. Like, so my entire life should just be on the camera. Like, I can't live like that.
Yeah, that's what has, I think, prevented me personally from getting more into streaming. It's like I need that harder boundary between online me and home time or me time me.
I try to keep a balance though. It's like you do an hour or two of it, and then like late at night, right before bed, is when I play by myself, and I make sure that I give myself that time and that space. Yeah.
How often are you streaming? Like, how often do you go on?
Maybe about 3 days a week.
Oh, that's very manageable. It's still a lot, but
it's a lot. I mean, you got to do about 3-4 hours a day usually.
Wow. Okay.
And so it's some Q&A, I'll play a video game, play some music, play some of my own tunes live, things like that. I did an 8-hour stream last Friday for Twitch front page, and it was rough. It was so rough. I only took like 2 or 3 small breaks, but for the most part, I was just in it. I took like track submissions from friends and like played some songs from friends and new albums, and just trying to make it like a variety show. Like, all right, I'm gonna do this for this hour, I'm gonna do this for this hour, just to keep myself like engaged with it.
And it's just you, like you're turning on the thing and then you're running everything and doing it yourself. Yep.
Yeah, cool. Just me. Well, it's not easy, but yeah, it was fun though.
Yeah, it's certainly it's when people are having fun streaming, you can tell, and like it's always fun to watch. Like, it's always fun to watch someone have fun.
That is true.
I wanted to ask, I was mentioning the music, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the production, because we started with the Kid album. One of the things I love about the recent album, and we should say, so actually, before we get into it, can you just tell everybody what the album is and just a little bit about it? Because anything I say, I'm going to screw it up. So I want to make sure.
Well, Buddy's Magic Treehouse is the new album. This is my second children's album. So I'd say children's hip hop, children's, multi-genre album that is in this Buddy's universe, which is what I call my kid. And so, it's a fun record that's all about we're trying to make an album that grows up with him. Yeah. So as he's 3 now, it's like, we'll go into some of the things that we deal with him now, so there's a toothbrushing song, and there's a song about making new friends and things like that. So we try our best to keep the songs within like what he's into at the moment. So there's a song about dinosaurs at the playground, and me experimenting with other genres. I'm doing a lot of singing, like R&B, some ska. There's just all types of things happening.
The ska track, when that ska track comes in, is that the Dino Stomp at the playground? Is that the ska?
It is, yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It's just immediately like, oh, whoa, okay, we're doing ska now. Yeah. Great. I loved it. Yes, like it really catches the ear.
Thank you. That was really what I was trying to do. I like to just be all over the place and have fun with it. I think that's one thing that these albums have done for me, is just kind of allowed me to be a lot more free with the writing and the process of being like, oh, you can totally sing on this. Like, you don't have to, like, I'm not stuck within a genre or a style, which is really cool.
I went for Go Banana Go, my kids' music project. It's exactly the same thing, where it's like, let's do everything. Let's not overthink it. Like, let's just, if most of the songs on that album are like, what if we did this? Okay, let's try it. Like, let's just go for it. And
I love that. I think there's something about kids' music just feels so freeing in that regard, and kids don't develop, snobby tastes, until they're older, and they probably get it from us, but for the time being, they're into everything,
they're into everything.
Whatever sounds cool. they're into it.
I wanted to tell you, I was listening to Buddy's Treehouse album with my 11-year-old
Nice.
in the car, and I was like, hey Audrey, this is Mega Ran. He has a new album out, Buddy's Magic Treehouse. I want to play it for you. Listen to listen to it with a kid. And we got 2 songs in, and she went, "Dad, this guy's actually really good."
Nah.
And I was like, yeah, he's like, this is not just some random guy. Like this, he really knows what he's doing. And she loved it. She loved this album. We listened to the whole thing, and she was singing along, and she just loved it.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
But the fact that we put it on, and she was like, so I think because she listens to my music most of the time.
And, I guess she was expecting it to be bad, which is, I've had friends who kind of expect that with children's music. They're like, there's a lot of, and I gotta be careful. I got myself in a little bit of trouble doing this. That's same. But I said something like, kids' music is all right, and next thing you know, it was a newspaper article. They're like, this guy says kids' music sucks, and he's gonna fix it, and I'm like, whoa, like,
well,
yeah.
What I think I've said publicly is as a personal choice, I almost never want to listen to the kids' music that's just like folky person with a guitar doing 3 chords. That's not my personal style. I'm not going to say it's good. I'm not going to say it's bad. It's just not that interesting to me. And one of the things that I love about your album is that it's sonically very different from a lot of the stuff people are doing out there. Thank you. You hear it and you're like, oh, sounds like a hip hop album, because it is. And I mean, it's multi-genre as you say, but it's definitely, mostly a hip hop album.
Hip hop is for sure the most dominant. But even with that, like, I think someone said, a DJ said, hip hop is so awesome because it can work by itself, but also it can be sprinkled onto almost anything.
That's right.
And still make it sound cool, you know? And so yeah, there's hip hop ska, there's hip hop folk songs on there now. Everything. So being able to do everything within that is really fun. And man, shouts to your daughter for that, because she's kind of said what some of my adult friends have said, like, wait, this is actually good, you know. And I've had that feeling too. I've been pleasantly surprised by a lot of children's music, just over the years, just picking up, meeting other musicians, and being like, oh wait, there are folks who are really putting their all into this and trying to make something that's fun and keeping their audience in mind, which I think is so clutch. Like, I listen to some of this stuff and I'm like, I just don't know if this was for kids, like, I don't know if you were thinking about your audience sometimes. Right. And so that's really where I've kind of fell into, like, I won't say dislike, but just my criticisms of a lot of children's or family music. But I've been able to find some amazing stuff, man. Alphabet Rockers are amazing. Justin Roberts, who does do folky stuff. But yes,
but he does his stuff. He does it well. Divinity Rocks. She's incredible. I think you have Uncle Devin on this one, right?
No, I've actually done stuff with Uncle Devin, but Uncle Jumbo is on here.
Uncle Jumbo, sorry,
an amazing project. Fuchs and RV.
Yep, Future.
Their album's great. Alphabet Rockers they're so good. I've been just finding these folks, and I'm like, oh wow, like, this is just reigniting, my passion for it. Yes. Just seeing people that are really trying and really doing new stuff and having fun with it too. You know, where I'm like, I could see a kid really liking this.
I think that's the crucial thing is I want to make music I want to hear, right? And just because it's for kids doesn't mean I shouldn't want to hear it. Like, I want to love the song regardless of who the audience is. And if it's kid oriented for the kid band, that doesn't mean I should like it any less than the adult oriented stuff. 100%. And the thing I think that I respond negatively to in a lot of kids music is people making it, kind of to check a box and say, okay, I did a kid album or whatever. And that you can feel the inauthenticity immediately with that.
Oh,
and the thing I love about your album is it just feels like, oh, you love this music. It shows that you're into it. And it's just a fun, great album, regardless of who it's aimed at.
Thank you. That's always been my thing. It's just like, I have like one rule when I'm working on these songs. It's like, did I smile in the creation process? Yep. That's it. Like, did it make me smile? Is there something about this that made me smile? And if not, then I'm like, maybe it's not for this.
Yep.
Like, that is literally my only goal. It's like, I want to make something that makes me happy to put it out.
Yeah. Did you produce this album? Like you're the
I produced the
sole
majority
producer?
of it. I had some friends that assisted me with production, but I did probably about 70-80%.
Wow, because I love the production on the album.
Thank you. So
Yeah, go
what
ahead.
I do,
Yeah.
I'm an intermediate. I'd say I'm a beginner level, not beginner, but maybe intermediate level hip hop producer.
Mhm.
But what I like to do is bring in other folks to collaborate on the productions to make them bigger, stronger, move
Mhm.
better. So I love horns, so I'll always
I
try
could
my
tell.
best to bring in my friends who play horns. So there's horns on like every other record.
And they
Um,
sound great too. I mean, they're like I feel like the horn recordings are really good.
Thank you. Yeah,
like
that's
really
my
clean
engineer.
and they sound great. Yeah.
Yeah, my engineer Felix, he's the best. He's so good. So yeah, I love to bring in the live instrument feel. So I'll make like a skeleton of a track, and then we'll bring in some other folks and say, all right, now let's get the live drummer in, let's get the
Mhm.
live horns in, let's get the live bass in, and just try to take it to another place, because I feel like, a lot of hip hop generally doesn't move as much as maybe I'd like to, or maybe a person who's maybe like a casual fan of it might not be moved as much if there's not as much happening.
Mhm.
And I love that with these children's records, especially when I'm telling a story. Like I want the music to progress as well, and to
Yeah.
keep going and building and turning into something new and different. And so yeah, I had a blast working on this.
I wanted to add specifically on "Have a Great Time." I mean, though the chords in that song are awesome. I mean, it's just straight up jazz. Like,
Thank you.
are you?
Yeah, that's a very special record.
It's
for me.
amazing. I mean, I love anything where you can feel key changes and like someone who like knows what they're doing, like jazz wise, like coming in. So is
Thank
that?
you.
Are you a jazz guy? Like, is that? Are you doing?
I'm a jazz guy for sure,
Yeah.
but I feel like, and even with that, like we had a layout of just kind of a knowing where we wanted to start, like with a 4 on the floor, and
Yeah.
let's have some fun with that. And then it was like, well, I need this bass to be really funky, and so then we got this really cool bass line.
Yeah, it's great. Yep.
And, and then Kimberly Stewart came in and played piano, and she's
Okay.
she
Yeah.
does a lot of jazz stuff too.
I can tell.
And,
Like, she's great. Yeah.
And yeah, she's amazing. So she put the finishing touches on the end of it, and then helped me with some vocal stuff on it as well. So yeah, it was just, for sure, jazz is a big part of my upbringing and influences and what I do, for sure.
I'm a sucker for like jazz inflected hip hop. When I was listening to this, the first thing I thought of was, it sounds like a Bus Driver record.
There you go. Okay.
love Bus Driver.
Bus Driver is amazing.
And
It's genius.
and that total genius. And you can tell, he's got that jazz background, like, and it's very like melodic. That's the other thing about this album, is it's really melodic.
Thank you. Yeah,
And
that's what I was going for sure.
As I told you, I mean, my daughter's singing along to it first listen, and
That's really cool.
Yeah.
If you can get kids, and kids are tough critics. I think, for this, they said from the mouth of babes, they're going to give it to you straight. Like, my kid will tell me, Daddy, I don't like this. When I try to play new stuff for him, he's like, Daddy, something else, and like, he wants to hear something else.
The same thing. My daughter's thing, especially with the kid music, is she's like, okay, that was pretty good, but what if you did that song and then I came in at the end, because I put her on a lot of the albums, and she's like, what if I came in the end and I was like, Dad, this is a bad song, I don't like it. And that's her pitch with every song, is what if I came at the end and told you you're bad at music?
It said it was a bad song.
Yeah.
And
you know what? Sometimes it works. Sometimes that's a funny joke, and we'll let her do it.
Yeah,
but
just have her do it on every song.
I know, every single. That's always her pitch. And sometimes I'm like, Audrey, this song's out. Like, I'm playing it off Spotify right now. Like, we can't really do the notes anymore.
It's already done.
But, yeah. How old's your son?
He's 3. Yeah, he'll be 4 in October.
That's great. That's a fun age.
It's a very fun age. Like, he is just into everything. Now he's we got this little piano for him, and he likes to play songs at night. We do a dance party right before bed, and we play one particular song, and then he just get on the piano and like try his best to play along with the song, and he's just going hard, like just like looking like Linus on the Peanuts, and like he just like, you can't tell him he's not like completely nailing this. Like, he starts to close his eyes, and he's just like, yeah,
Yeah,
he's got it.
I love it when a little kid, when they do that like little kid bounce thing, especially when they're real little, like 2 and under,
Oh yeah.
and they just start like just moving kind of up and down to the music. It's the best when you get a whole room full of them and there's some music going on and they're all just like kind of bouncing up and down.
Great.
It's
so great.
It's the best. Do you guys do you take them to see live music a bunch?
We've done, we started him off pretty early, going to festivals and things. We would put on his little headset and go, and he's going to see me play a bunch.
Yeah, that's cool.
That can be kind of hard for him because he just wants to be on stage with daddy. So a lot of times if especially if we're at a show where like it doesn't have a raised stage, then I have to watch out because he might just get on stage and I'm like, dude, there's wires, there's all kinds of things here, be careful, but there's been times where he's just jumped on stage with me and danced like, this is my song. Like, no, that's my song. So I'm gonna dance to it. And so he'll just get on stage and dance.
I love that. I remember when Audrey was about that age, 3 or 4, I was doing some kind of like I was visiting my wife's folks in Minnesota and decided to do some like fan meetup at a park. And I remember this line of fans, like, was just chatting with people, taking photos, whatever. And she ran up and tried to protect me from them. She, like, this is my dad. Wow. Get away from him.
Like, back up my dad.
Yeah. But ever since she was little, I've always tried to bring her to sound checks, like get her in the room. Sometimes we're playing these big fun clubs and it's like, oh, she can come on and like make noise on the keyboard or hit the drums or whatever, just like get her in the environment of where music happens. And also, like, if you had told, when I was a kid, if I'd been allowed to be in some big club and, hit a snare drum and have it like, it would have been the best thing ever. And I love like being able to bring her on stage, like during sound check and stuff. And more recently on this last tour, we had 2 dates, one where I live in LA and another in Kansas City where she was, and she actually did a little walk on during the middle of the set. And it was like, cool. And now she's all, at 11, she's old enough to like really do it and have a great time with it.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh my gosh. That gets me excited for my kid when he's old enough to do it. He's going to love it.
And can you imagine like someday, I'm sure it'll happen someday with Audrey, is like performing together. Like we were on stage together, was walking, but making music together with your kid.
Yeah.
And we do this. We play piano together. She's writing songs. We'll come in. This is my little studio here, and I'll be like, "Okay, I wrote some lyrics. Let's figure it out. Let's make a little song." And it is
so cool,
dude. It's the best feeling as a parent to be like creating something with your kid.
Yeah,
like I love it so much.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. I can't wait.
It's really fun, and it just gets more and more fun as they get like older and more sophisticated and everything. We started, I think for Go Banana Go, we have her vocals on a record starting. First record was 2020, so yeah, she would have been 6, probably 5 or 6 when we recorded it.
Nice.
And my partner in that, Jim, his kids were also on it. And
cool.
And the other thing is now it's a record. I can hear her voice like growing up as we keep putting out albums over the years, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I managed to get him to record saying good morning and have a good day.
Is he the voice on the intro track? Is that him?
Yes.
Oh, that's so great.
That's him. He says, have a good day.
Yes.
And so that's usually what we say every morning, He gets up and he's like, sunny day, daddy, sunny day, And I'm like, all right, it's 6 a.m., but okay. And then we get up and then I'm like, say good morning. He's like, good morning, good morning, good morning. Have a good day,
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, that's his thing.
I love
it. But even that, like
hearing
his voice now being immortalized on the record. And it's like, man, like that voice is going to change. It's going to get deeper. It's going to do all these different things and it'll be like stuck there for him to hear.
That's right, forever. Yeah, I listened to tracks Audrey did when she was like 6 or 7, and it's like that's a little, she's still a little kid in some sense because she's 11, but it's like that's a little kid. And it's also so awesome. What the other fun thing is for them is she can, sometimes she's at camp or school, whatever, and they'll put on music and she can ask, put on my song. Where it's like, it just makes her feel like a rock star because she is on these albums and can play these tracks.
Oh man, my kids done that in daycare. They said, because I gave them a CD of the new album and he's on the intro. So when I came in to pick him up one day, the teacher's like, is that Zion on the first track? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, okay, because when it played, he snuck over to the radio and turned it up louder.
That's
and then
awesome.
tries to walk away like he didn't do it. And I'm like, yep. He's like, only for that track though. He's like, see, he's already a diva. He's
Already do
turn
the
me up.
same thing. would tell people initially, like, or I forget, it was camp or something, like, hey, could you just put on this song by this band, you know, could you try it? What you guys think? Yeah, it's just, you know, did you like the kid on that song? Well, yeah. Yeah, but I think that's
how it was when I first started making music. You know, I was ashamed of it, or I was just like worried about what my friends would think. So I'm like, so what do you think? Did you like that?
Without telling them it was you.
Yeah. Because when I was making production, I was doing my first like hip hop beats and things, and I'd be like, "So did you like that? Like would you like listen to that?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, cool. I made that."
Did you ever have the thing where you were actually handing out physical albums, like passing out mixtapes to people, like not online, but mostly in person?
Mostly demos. I would make a demo CDs. Mm-hmm. I never thought that me as like a rapper would have worked out, you know, because I was making more of like a traditional, they call it kind of conscious rap, kind of nerdy, kind of left of center stuff that I just didn't think was going to catch on. So I was hoping that my production would catch on. I'm like, oh, maybe I can just produce for these folks or engineer for them. And so I would make demo CDs of my like beat tapes, and these were tracks that I created on different programs, and I would write my phone number on them. I remember my ex would help me like make labels and stick them on there, and I have a big spindle, the spool of CDs, and we'd go to like different events and hand them out, you know, and just with my phone number on it, just hoping somebody would call me.
I always loved, like, you know, you're walking outside a supermarket or something, some guy hands you an album this hasn't happened in, I don't know, 10 years or something for me.
Yeah, I don't know if that still happens.
Always want to listen to it because you're like, this could be like,
be good,
could be amazing, right? You always want to check it out just because, like, it's
like, this is how a lot of people started, you know?
A lot of people started,
yeah. Wow. No, but I haven't seen that in a long time. Actually, I think I saw it maybe at PAX in Seattle, and I was like, wow, this is so rare. But there were guys that were standing, this is maybe in the last 2 years.
Wow.
Like, there were guys who were standing outside of the convention center, and they would just stop people like, hey, come over here, like, you know, take a listen, you know, and they'd have like some headphones on or something, and be like, hey, what do you think? Or do you want to support? You want to just buy this CD for $5, you know?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of people would be like, I don't even have a CD player.
Right.
Bro.
That's the issue now. Yeah.
I can't play this at all, you know, but I'll just be like, you know what? I'll buy it, you know, but hope this has a link somewhere, because I can't
put a
hear
QR
this.
code on the CD or something.
Yeah, give me a QR, like a SoundCloud link or something inside, because I can't play this. I don't have a CD player.
Right. No, it's like an effort. I have to plug a CD drive into a USB port on a computer now to play a physical CD.
It's crazy. Like, they just phased out CDs. Like, it's wild.
Did you put the new album out on anything physical?
Yeah, I have CDs, I have vinyl coming as well. We luckily did a lot of pre-orders through like Kickstarter and things like that.
Great, cool.
And I think that people are just collectors. You know what I mean? Where they're like, hey, I want to get this thing because you're offering it, you know, and maybe you'll sign it, and, you know, things like that. And now I have a piece of a collector's item. But like, I don't imagine that a lot of people have a way to play it, you know?
No, I mean, with Ninja Sex Party, we've been doing CDs and signed CDs so long now that it's like people want the complete collection. So it's less about, it's exactly what you're saying. It's less about playing the thing than, well, I have every other CD. I want to like keep supporting it. And it's a great way to support the artist, right? Like,
and a lot of people know that, like, this will support the artist. It's one of the best ways to do so. So if it's not that, or then the t-shirt, you know, they haven't figured out a way to pirate a t-shirt yet.
Have you ever done cassettes?
Yeah, they never really sell well. Like, usually someone picks it up and says, this is so cool. Do you remember when we used to have these things? And they put them back down and they keep walking.
But I've seen people do like the cassette, but it's secretly a USB drive. thing.
I like that.
Right?
I like
yeah,
that idea. There's
that's
a
a fun
cassette
idea.
only label that has done a couple of releases for me.
Oh, that's
And when
fun.
they do a
Yeah.
really special one, like one of them I did a wrestling album and they did a blue cassette and it
Oh,
looked
that's cool.
really cool. And so like, because if they're able to make it look really cool and like we'll also include a download with it, you know, just to kind of make it sweeten the pot. And I think I sold all those. Like I remember eventually selling them.
Yeah, I did one cassette. I have a smooth jazz thing that I do, and I put that out only on vinyl and cassette at first. And the cassettes just like you know, kind of like, oh, that's tradition. If it was a 90s release,
Like, oh,
maybe
that's, cool.
that's what it would be. And they trickled out and eventually sold, but it took a long time.
It takes a while, but yeah,
Yeah.
like I feel like it's definitely plucked the nostalgia bone, but much like a CD player, like maybe you can probably find a cassette player a little easier than a CD player these days.
I think so. Yeah.
I went to maybe like a Family Dollar or something, and I saw that they were selling like Walkmans, you know, and they were
Really?
actually kind of expensive. They were like $30-$40.
What for a Walkman?
And I'm like, this is crazy. And so, yeah, I think that, you know, the kids today have kind of, you know, gotten back into our old tech.
Yes.
And so cassette players are a thing again. you
Yeah.
know?
Did you have a Discman as a kid?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Hell
That
yeah.
was like
Right.
the greatest possession
I
I
know.
had, man. I remember getting the anti-skip one.
Uh-huh.
You know,
yeah,
because
because that was
some
the
of
worst thing when you're walking along and anything you do like jostles it and it skips
It would
and you're
skip
like,
it, and then
"Oh."
I'd
Yeah.
scratch the disc, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
But yeah, once you got an anti-skip, that was just the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. No, I remember getting, so I had a Walkman, you know, with the yellow headphones, right? With
The sports one.
the sports one. That's right.
Yeah.
Where,
I remember the yellow one because it was like my cousin had it. It was a little more expensive.
Yeah.
And I think it was like waterproof or something.
Yes, that's
like
right.
It would lock extra tight around the cassette so that it could withstand water. Oh, that was cool.
Yeah, but they filled like the headphones were the bleed from ambient noise was so intense because it was just this little like pad, right? It wasn't like over the ear with the ones
it
it
wasn't
came with.
much.
It was just this little thing that went on your ear. And it's like, if you know, I can't imagine listening to that now when I'm so used to like this or AirPods, you know, or the in the ear thing. Just like how people have to crank it all the way up just to hear the thing because you could
just
hear
to hear
everything
it
around you.
No, you're right. There was so much ambient noise. Like you could never, like I'd have to like stick it way in and hold my ears.
I remember that thing where you're pressing it into your ear to hear it better.
Yeah, and you're like, now I can hear.
Yeah. Yeah, and then getting that first Discman where it's like, oh my God, I can play a CD.
Man, the
on this
Discman.
thing. Do you remember your first CD?
Cool.
Do you remember what that was?
I don't remember. Gosh, first CD.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of mine.
CD.
I think honestly, this is such a nerdy thing. It was like a compilation of like greatest hits of the 50s or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like Weird Al or something.
No, Weird Al was. I had all the cassettes. The Weird Al cassettes.
Yeah, I was about to say I had a lot of cassettes.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe the Batman soundtrack, the '89 Batman,
the Prince one.
Yeah,
maybe, like Prince Danny
the
Elfman
Prince
thing.
one, the first one.
Yeah,
maybe, but that might have been a cassette too.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm not sure if CDs were really a thing. That was like '89, so maybe
that
not.
would have been around when CDs were like really happening. I think.
Okay,
maybe,
so
right?
maybe it was the Batman soundtrack.
That's a funny Prince album. Like it's pretty.
Oh, it's
good,
kind of
but
hilarious. I didn't
yes.
realize anything about it at the time, but like Prince had like one song on it,
Yeah,
and like the
Batdance.
rest were just weird DJ mixes.
Yes, totally.
And
Right.
I think it was just, you know, he was still under this big Warner Brothers contract,
Yep.
and he just had to release albums.
Yeah.
And so he's like, sure, here's a Prince album, and he did one song, and then the rest of them were like clips from the
Yes.
movie.
And even
it's like-
even the single, even Batdance is like a lot of clips from the movie.
Yeah,
It's like
I'm like, it was
okay.
such an odd time. Like I can remember now, like just being like, there's only one Prince song on here. Like, all right, Party Man, which I loved.
yeah,
But yeah, like that was just an
Party
odd
Man, right? Yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Right.
I remember
Wait,
that.
what was
being
okay?
a
There was
weird
Party
one.
Man, but what was Batdance was also on that album? Was that not the
Bad
single?
Dance was another DJ mix track where it was just like, I remember it having clips from the movie, like Dickie Dale.
Yes, right. That's
Dickie
what I
Dale.
think. Yeah. Exactly.
Like it was just different sounds from them. Who are you?
Yeah.
You know? It's like I could just imagine Prince just sitting in the studio, like, all right, whatever. This is what you guys want.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Paisley Park?
Yeah, I have. It was a really cool experience. You know, I found myself kind of, I don't know, like torn a little bit, you know, because just knowing how like secretive and personal and guarded he was, you know, with that place and with everything he created there, where they're just like, here you go, go and look at everything, you know, and it's like, it just makes me think. Like I even wrote about it in a song, like how like, you know, musicians' final wishes aren't always, you know, up to them. You know, it's like,
that's right.
Hey man, if you happen to, you know, pass away in a situation where you're in debt or where, you know, you owe a lot of things to a label or things, they can just kind of do what they want, you know,
do whatever they want.
And it really put me in a weird spot just as an artist, being like, man, as kind of guarded as I am about like studio sessions, like I can't imagine the 3 or 4 fans that would get a kick out of it wanting to hang out at my studio and thumb through my old, you know, demos or things like that. Yeah. And it's just like, yeah, it felt a little weird, but I mean, it was just an amazing experience. Like just being there and seeing like, oh, here's the closet and all the shoes. I know.
Did you see his editing studio? I saw that. Yeah. Right.
It was so cool. And then they were like, they bring artists in to do sessions there now, you know, so it's like,
because it's like this world-class recording studio, right?
Yeah.
Built.
Like, it's pretty amazing. It really is. And like, I'm glad we're able to see that. But at the same time, just as an artist, I'm just like, man, like, I know that he wouldn't have wanted us to see this. So
it certainly doesn't feel that way. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. So it's a really odd thing. Just like, you know, posthumous stuff for me is a little weird, like the Michael Jackson stuff. I remember like when they put out some Michael Jackson records, and I was like, oh, this is actually kind of good, you know, but like just knowing that he didn't think this was good enough to come out, you know, and yet we still have it, you know, it's just like, well, that is unfortunate. It does put a little bit of a strain on their legacy, you know, but I understand, you know, like sometimes things are out of your hands and it's tough, you know. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Well, before I forget about the Prince thing, did you ever hear the story of the safe cracker, the guy who like got into Prince's safe?
No.
So I can't remember where I heard of it. Heard it. It might be a This American Life thing or whatever. But they basically they had he had a physical safe with like recordings inside of it, and they had to hire a guy to like crack it. And it was some kind of like, he got like the most secure thing he could, whatever. I can't remember the details, but there's some story. I look for it because it's a great story.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
But like, yeah, the guy actually like had to break into this safe, and it's a whole thing. And eventually gets in, but it's like a wild thing.
Whoa.
But it's the same thing. It's like, okay, well, maybe it was locked for a reason. Like,
he didn't want, he didn't want you in there, you know. And like, God forbid, like, what if there was something in there that like we weren't supposed to see?
Right.
You know,
for whatever reason, like,
for whatever reason, you know, just like a secret or just a thing he just didn't want shared. And then now it's shared. You know?
I have mixed feelings about it. You know, I think about all the fragments of stuff I've written and whatever. And no, none of it's good enough to see the light of the day, in my opinion, or I'd put it out. But I don't know. Also, I think one thing you and I have both released a lot of music over our years. And one thing, tell me if you agree with this, I'm a terrible judge of what people are going to like. With my own stuff, I can put something out where I'm like, oh, this is going to be, people are going to love this. It's going to be huge. No, it just passes. Nobody cares. And then it's the thing that you write in 20 minutes that you just kind of don't worry about. And you're like, oh, it's just throwaway, whatever. Suddenly that's the thing people seize on. So I have no idea what is even an artistic success. I know what I'm happy with and I know what I'm not happy with, but I feel like I'm too biased when it comes to my own stuff.
That is a good point. And that's why I used to, with my productions, be like, I'm not going to tell people I did this because I don't really know. Like, I don't know. I'm not a good enough judge of my own music. I guess it's just a different part of the brain happening where I'm just like, I can't separate myself enough to just become a fan and understand it. I'm just like, who would ever want to hear me do anything? You know? Like,
dude, 100%. And you hear the whole history of what it took to make the thing, where you remember all the, you know, the dead ends and like, oh, it had this like horn part that I loved, but we had to get rid of it because this you know, blah, blah, blah. You hear the whole thing. You hear the history of the, you know, you can practically see the different versions in Pro Tools that you were saving, you know, as you were going through it. And then when the final thing comes out, it's like, it's close, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you think, it's not quite it, you know. But I mean, they're struggling with the demoitis, as they call it.
Demoitis,
where, you know,
that's right.
You get that first take, and you love it, and it's like, well, now let's do it for real. And like, well, no, I like that. You know.
Well, that's one thing. Our with Ninja Sex Party, our longtime producer, has taught me, which I you know was a valuable lesson, which is always hit record. Like, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Always hit record, because sometimes that first one out of the gate is like the one, and you'll never get it back ever.
Yeah,
so
that's very good advice.
Always hit record. Yeah.
Always.
I feel like, okay, we have to talk at least a little bit about video game music, because that's a huge part of your, you know, your output. And I'm in this group Starbomb, which also does, you know, video game music. And if we didn't talk at least a little bit about it, I think we'd be missing an opportunity.
Yes.
So is that, I mean, are you still actively doing video game stuff, or do you consider that, you know, kind of?
I do. That's fun. I just did a Dr. Mario cover today.
Oh, really? So, you just put it out?
I didn't put it out yet. I'm still working on it, so maybe I shouldn't have said that. No, it's fine. It's fine.
I can't cut that out if you want me to.
It's fine. I play Dr. Mario a lot with my wife, and so I was just like, Mario. Oh man, this is a great tune, and let me just remix this. And so I started working on something for it. But video game music is still a huge part of my existence for sure. So when I'm between children's projects and things, there's usually some video game stuff that kind of tickles my fancy, and I'm always working on of different covers, like whatever just inspires me at the time. But Mega Man for sure is my jam. You know, Final Fantasy as well, Zelda, and a bunch of others. Yeah. And then lately just finding new artists and new composers that have been kind of inspired by some of that same stuff, but have made really cool stuff happen. Like video game music is such a huge part of me. So I don't think it's ever anything I could let go of, you know?
Yeah, for me, it's much, you know, Starbomb, like we put out an album every like 5 years or something. It's like, and it's a comedy project. It's not like video game music. It's like comedy hip hop stuff.
Gotcha.
But I mean, you're like actually on video game like soundtracks. Like, you know, you're a real video game musician.
I guess you can say that. That's pretty cool to say. I'm a real video game musician.
I definitely think lucky, of myself as a fake video game musician. So I think, I
know real video game musicians, and they're nice enough to, when they need hip hop or they need something, they call me, which has been really cool.
It's amazing.
Mortal Kombat, Will Roger is a great composer, and made a track, and then he's like, well, who do I know that loves video games and makes hip hop? You know, so he calls me, and we write what eventually became the ending credits theme.
It's so cool.
Same with TMNT, T Lopes, who did a ton of Sonic stuff. He's so good. Got the job for Turtles, and then said, hey, I think you'd be great on this. You know,
I know, I saw that. That was like awesome. Like,
it's like dream come true stuff.
Right,
you know, like,
exactly.
I never would have imagined that. Like,
I know.
You know, just being a Turtles fan my entire life and being a part of, and the game was great. I think that's what it comes down to, is like, none of it means anything if the game isn't great.
That's right.
Because no one will talk about it, you know. I've done some games that haven't done so well or been so great, you know what I mean? So, but no one talks about those. Right. So it has to be, it has to be good, you know, for the work to kind of pay off. And at the end of the day, it's just been, you know, it's an awesome position to be in, where, you know, you give that thing that you love a lot more of your time, you know, which is what I always say is like one of the keys of happiness, you know, is that thing you really love, you just got to give it more time and more attention. And so, you know, being a hip hop artist who also loves video games, I was like, well, let me start writing songs about video games. Yeah. And then after a decade of being the guy who does this weird thing.
Right, which is how traditionally I always thought of you, as like, oh, you see, like the video game guy.
The game guy, the game rapper. And so then when someone says, hey, we need some hip hop for this game, who do we know? And so
Yeah, yeah.
it's the guy who's been doing it for a decade, so it just really paid to kind of wear that on my sleeve and to be very proud of, my love for video game music.
Yeah.
And so, that's just really helped out. I've been writing music about video games for a long time, but then to write for games
So cool,
is just,
man.
like that's the full circle, living the dream moment.
Yeah, that's I mean, I have said for a long time, like, oh, I'd love to like write a score or something like that, and I've never like really.
I think you'd be great at it. I don't know.
Oh,
I think but one of those things. I feel like it would. It'd be really fun. But yeah, I've run into folks who just who do it, and I'm always asking them like, so how'd you get started?
Dude, yes, right.
And a lot of them, this is a question I get a lot, like how to get started. And I think with composers and people who produce and things, it's cover your favorite thing.
That's right.
That's it. With the internet, man, like if you can cover Super Mario today and make it sound, put your own spin on it and make it sound really cool and fun, like that could lead to work. You know 100%. What I mean? Like it totally could. So I think people have to utilize the power of the internet, the positive power of the internet, which is, man, if you put something out that you really believe in and you have given the world something they didn't know they needed, like the Mega Man hip hop remix, the sky's the limit. You might be writing for Ninja Turtles.
And a similar a piece of advice again that I got from our producer Jim Roach was, you want to write something, take a song and don't cover it, just try to write that song. Listen to it once, put it away, try to write that song, and what you write will be nothing like that song, but it's going to be similar enough that you're kind of like in that wheelhouse. And I've always loved this as a writing exercise, is like,
that's great.
I want to write video game music. Like, I'm going to listen to whatever, Mario Brothers 2 soundtrack, old school stuff, like just like listen to it, put it away forever. Maybe that's a bad example because we've all internalized that soundtrack so much that you could practically recreate it, but
maybe we could.
And then just try to do that. And I think that is such a fun writing exercise.
That's a great one, man. I feel like maybe I've been told that in the past, but that is something that I think any artist can learn from and benefit from. It's like, sit down and try to write that thing that you love.
Yes.
And, I think it comes, this is something I've heard as a teacher too. They always say like the best teachers are the best thieves.
That's right.
You find out what works for someone else, and then you try to apply it to your classroom and put your own spin on it.
It's the good artists borrow, great artists steal.
Great artists steal. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, we get so caught up in this, I got to make the most original brand new thing, and it's like, well, don't underestimate your influences. It's sit down and, try to work on something like your heroes did. And you'll be surprised what could come out of that.
Totally.
That's funny. Have a Great Time was me doing that. You know what I mean? Where I was like, oh, let me sit down with Michael Jackson, and of course it sounds nothing like a Michael Jackson song, but I just wanted something that would be dancey and upbeat and poppy,
Oh, and it's so, I mean, that's my favorite song on the album. I love it so much. And dude, you also, I mean, we mentioned it before, but some really great collabs, I mean, throughout your whole career. It was you had G-Love on Toy Box, right?
Yes, G-Love was on Toy Box. That's a fellow Philly native.
Yes, totally.
Shout out to G-Love. He was amazing.
Nice guy.
Super nice guy, man. And to the point where not only did we do the song, but like every time he's in town or I'm in his town, he's like, hey, do you want to just jam together on stage?
Dude. I mean, what an actual legend. I mean, come on.
Like we've jammed in New York, we've jammed in Phoenix, we've jammed in LA.
Awesome.
Like where he's just like, hey man, come on stage. And I'm like, wait, what is my life?
That's so cool.
Absolute whole legend, and just
love that guy's voice too. I mean, what a voice.
Great voice.
Yeah. I was looking at who else you did. It was a one track with my buds, Rav and Kill Bill.
Oh yeah, you know Rav and Kill Bill.
Yeah, very well. They
Small World.
They did a tour together last year. I caught them here when they were in LA, and then Rav came to my Minneapolis show on the last tour.
Nice. Yes,
guys.
Those are my buddies. They're so cool. Yeah, we met online and just mutual fans of each other's work. And
really, their stuff is really good.
So good. Yeah. we're hopefully working on something else. I've been talking to Kill Bill about something that might be coming this fall.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
Mhm.
Yeah. How do you know,
So,
the one thing that I find interesting that I've never, the collab thing, it's so, I mean, it's very central to a lot of hip hop, obviously, but
mhm,
it's like, I just don't, for what we do, I don't do a lot of them. So like,
mhm,
how does that stuff work? Are you just like running into
mm,
people and like, oh, we should do a thing. People are emailing you. Like, how does it typically
mm.
work?
A little bit of both. Yeah, I get messages all the time like, "Hey, let's work on something,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Well, hey, I'm always busy. I'm always working on a ton of things.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if I hear something that tickles my fancy, that makes me laugh, makes me smile, makes me get excited, then absolutely, let's do it." But there's a record on the new album, the Alphabet song,
Yeah. Yeah.
with Last Benevolence, where he had this track and he told me like, oh man, this jazz is like a super jazzy hip hop beat.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
like something a Tribe Called Quest or
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
use. And he's like, this has been sitting around for like 5 years and I don't really know what to do with it. And I'm like, what? This is amazing. And so we started working on
I love it when you can
Alphabet
just
song
pull
to it.
something out of the archive and be like, hey, what about this? And another person's
Yeah,
like,
and I
oh
was
yeah,
like,
that,
what?
let's do it.
This is so good. And
Yeah.
and I can't believe it's been sitting around. He's like, well, I wasn't sure if it was any good. No one really, it didn't move me. And then
Yeah.
I said, well, what about a song about the alphabet? And he's like, what? This is kind of silly. And then I'm like, of course it's silly. Let's do it. And so we did. And then the song that came out was so much
dude,
fun.
you know what? I might be slightly misquoting it, but was it the WX and you know the rest?
Yes,
Like
yes.
the whole family was laughing at that, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
it's WX,
love-
man. You know the rest.
Yeah,
You
so
know?
funny.
It's like, yeah, you should know the rest,
Yes.
And so yeah, that's
love that,
again
yeah.
just trying to find moments where where I'm going to smile, the listener's going to smile has been the chief focus of making these buddies albums. And yeah, I love that song so much. And
Yeah.
and for it to be something that was just kind of sitting around and then to turn it into something new and something fresh was really cool. So I had to shout out Last Benevolence. So that was a collaboration with a guy who I've known for many, many years. And he came to the studio and we recorded together. And we did like a back and forth kind of thing. And normally I'm collaborating with folks online and we don't get to do that in person.
You're just trading tracks and
We're just sending files back and forth. But with that song was maybe the one of the album, like we actually got to be in the same room, which was really fun.
Mm-hmm. Do you? I'm almost hesitant to ask this, but I'm going to ask anyway. Dream collab, the one you could like manifest if you could have it. This is such a fan question, but like, is there one that you could like?
I mean, Weird Al. Like, is there any doubt? I mean, Weird Al. I would probably retire after the Weird Al collab. Like, I'd be like, and we're done. And like, we're not gonna top this. Like, here we go.
Yeah.
I think I tried even for this album. I just maybe didn't have the right email address. But yeah, I've reached out, on a few occasions where I felt like I've had the song and I've even kept the song. I haven't released it, where I was just like, I think this is something he would enjoy.
Yeah.
And but it's just with the timing, people are on tour, people are moving around, and maybe I just don't have a way to contact them. And so I think Weird Al would be number one. There's like, man, Stevie Wonder, which I think would make my mom really happy. I'm like, just the harmonica solo. That's it. Like, I wouldn't need anything else. Just give me some harmonica. That's probably the top of my list. As those two
great choices.
I mean, I gotta say, if I take it back to Philadelphia, I'd say like Will Smith.
Okay, sure, yeah.
I think me and Will could make a fun kid song for sure.
Yeah, that'd be great. Did you? I was just gonna say the amazing thing to me about Weird Al. The guy is, I don't know, how old is he? 60, early 60s, somewhere around there.
Something, yeah.
Still funny. How many people are still funny at like the early 60s? Most people who are trying to do comedy at that age are not really quite getting there. They feel a little out of step with.
You get a little left out. Yeah, you get a little out of touch, but no, he's been able to constantly crush it.
Yeah. Was lucky enough to meet him, and truly the nicest guy. Like, truly the nicest guy. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that would, I mean, he's a dream collab for me too. Like, it's just like, grew up with him, just the guy is the grandfather of comedy music now, and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I was actually just talking,
still doing it, still successful, still doing it at a high level. It's just
touring,
it's just
crushing.
amazing.
He just played Madison Square Garden, like
Killing it.
killing it.
That is
And
nuts.
I was talking to my daughter about this. As a producer, people do not talk about what a great producer he is, because he's got like not only the original songs amazing, and they really are incredible songs, but to recreate all the stuff that he does with the parodies, where he's getting like, they're looking for the right amp, right? You got to get the right tone for this thing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
I don't understand how he does it with that degree of like, accuracy. It's really,
No, it's really like unbelievable when you think about it.
yeah.
And to be doing it at a high level for this long is insane.
Well, I know we have an out in a few minutes here, and I don't want to keep you too late. But I'll ask real quick: were there other Philly guys growing up that were like people you were listening to that you really liked, like other local?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm still extremely biased to Philadelphia. I think
I noticed you. I love that you had John right in the title of a bunch of songs. I had to tell my daughter like, "Oh, I'm a North Jersey guy originally."
Okay, so you understand, yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I'm extremely biased to Philadelphia. I feel like Philly music has kind of made me who I am from like soul music. In the beginning, my mom was a huge fan of like Philly International Sound and the OJs and Teddy Pendergrass.
OJ,
cool
amazing stuff. Yeah.
And then later on into hip hop with Will Smith, the Roots. So yeah, there's so much stuff. Black Thought of the Roots, I think, is like the most incredible MC
He's the
ever.
best.
And so yeah, he's a guy that I would love to collaborate with on something.
Was
his book is really good too.
Oh, I've been meaning to read it. I'm curious.
Yeah, it's really good.
Was Motown Philly a big deal for you when that came out?
Oh yeah. Motown Philly, man, that was huge. Boyz II Men was the biggest thing, coming up. I remember I still remember the video. Like a lot of those guys would wear they would wear the cap, and they had this really cool style where they would wear like the baseball cap, but also like the sweater vest and the tie. So it was like mixing like street with like a kind of a preppy look. Yeah. That was the thing. Like that became our look in school. Like people were trying to get like the sweater vest and the baseball cap down.
Do you know about there's a limited it's like 8 episodes or something podcast called Waiting for Impact? Have you heard about this?
No.
Dude, okay. So in the Motown Philly video, at some point there's a photo book of the East Coast family, right? And at one point they show Another Bad Creation, and at some point they show a group of white guys called Sudden Impact who never put out anything. This group doesn't exist as far as anyone can tell.
Sudden Impact.
Look, watch the video. They're there. They flip. There's a page in the book where it's like, who are these guys?
Like, who are they?
Yeah. So the answer is they just kind of they never put out any singles. They just vanished. And this guy, Dave Holmes, who was a VJ on MTV, really, really fun, interesting guy, put out a podcast where he's like, this video was the hugest thing in the world to me when I was a kid. I couldn't believe it. And I've spent my entire life wondering, where the hell is Sudden Impact? Like, what happened? Are they part of the East Coast family? Like, what's going on? And he like tracks them down and asks like, what happened? And it's an amazing story because it's like from these guys' perspective, like all their dreams were about to come true. They got signed. They were going to put out a thing. And then it kind of all just vanishes. Wow. And it is really worth, and they go a lot into, the whole Boyz II Men kind of circle, all that stuff. And it's a really fun and interesting podcast, essentially about what if you thought all your dreams were about to come true and then they vanished.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh
and
my gosh.
especially
Okay,
as a Philly guy, I think you'd like it.
Are they from Philly, or are they? I mean, that's a really interesting story.
I don't know if they are from Philly, but just the Philly central.
But yeah, there's a definite Philly connection for sure in that.
Yeah.
Wow, that is insane.
Waiting for Impact. I really can't. I've recommended it on this podcast before, but it's like,
oh my gosh,
it's a really interesting story. And he tracks some of these guys down, and some of them are like a little bummed. Still, this is many years later.
Yeah.
And other
Wow.
people are like, oh, actually, it's like a car dealership or something now. He's like, oh, I can't,
Mm.
I would never would have met my wife or had my kid if that had gone, that sort of thing.
Oh,
So
yeah.
people talking
Yeah,
about
it's
it
all
like,
perspective. It's good to see like they're not all just bitter and angry, about what could have been.
yeah,
But wow, that is amazing. Like I had no idea. As many times as I watched that video,
I don't watch it again.
I
They're right there.
I have to watch
Yeah.
it again and be like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Wow, that's nuts.
It's fun. But
But
dude,
there's so many stories like that. So that's really interesting.
that's right.
And I think that's what being an internet age musician has kind of removed. You know what I mean? Because I can think about when I first started making music and the artists I would run into kind of when I was handing out my beat CDs.
Yeah.
A lot of them were people who were this close, like, okay, this guy is Jay-Z's newest signee. This guy's
Yes,
about to go
that's
with
right.
the Roots and go do
Yep,
this.
yep.
This guy's about to go do that. And then some of them it just never
Just
happened.
doesn't
for them.
happen. Yeah.
And
For no
and
particular reason. It just kind of,
yeah, sometimes
doesn't-
it's just like, hey man, it wasn't meant to be. Something happened, a label shake up, and you just got lost in the sauce. And and so there's just like with the internet, it was like we're able to find this footing of the few hundred or few thousand people who were excited
yeah.
about that thing that was about to happen, and now I can pinpoint them and get them all together,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we can go and do small shows. You can hang out on our corner of the internet together, and back then you just were a has been, never was, whatever. Like it just, what if you just
Yeah,
became
what if?
that a what if?
And you were, as you said, this close. Like, oh, I
This
got,
close, like one more thing.
The guy signed me.
I had all these meetings. I talked to these people, and we're about to sign, and then just something crazy happens. Like, and it's so insane. And even then, like I remember coming up doing my thing, at that time, and a lot of folks who were very well connected, were going through the same thing where they were just like, I'm just waiting on the record deal, the ink to dry,
Yep.
and the thing is about to happen. And people would tell me, I'm going to use your beats. I'm about to sign to this label and we're going to do it. And then I just never heard from them again,
And
we're just
there's
like,
a million
what
stories
happened?
like that. And it like,
Yeah.
when, at least for me, like, I don't know how this happened. It just happened. Like it's a series of hard work and good luck, and
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
secret sauce. Like
Just
it's
luck
just like,
and opportunity meet is what they say,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just like having, but also I think being present, is big on that too. So as much as we like to be like, hey man, I'm just a guy who got lucky, like we show up.
We
You know
show
what I
up.
mean? Like when you're asked to do something, you show up. If someone, asks you for a thing, you're like, I'm going to figure it out,
yes, that's right.
And some of the best advice I was told was to learn how to be a yes man. And I was
Dude.
like, well, what? Wait, you don't want to be a yes man. He's like, yeah, you kind of do. You want to be a guy who, when someone says, hey, do you know how to do that? I can say yes, or I can find out.
Yes.
No one wants a guy around who's like,
No, 100%. And I think a lot of great art, and including, well, I'm not going to say what I make is great art, far from it, but a lot of the stuff that I make that I'm happy with comes from me agreeing to do something that I have no clue how to do. And then under a time crunch or under pressure of like, well, I said I'd do it, figuring it out.
figured it out.
And
That's it. But now if you were just like, hey, I can't do that, then opportunity gone.
That's right.
You
And
know,
at the end, you figure out now you have a new skill, or you learned how to do a thing you didn't know how to do before. And now that's in your toolbox, and you can move that on to the next thing.
Yeah,
Like
that was how I started DJing. It was literally going to events like E3 and other gaming events. And people were like, hey, man, we need somebody to DJ our after party. And I'd be like, oh, well, I'm not a DJ, but I'll call someone. And then I wound up always getting my friends these gigs. And then I'm like, you know what? I think I need to learn how to do this.
Yeah.
You just got paid how much to do this?
Yeah, totally.
And I'm like, I think I can figure this out. Like, give me the gig,
Yep.
And that's how it happened.
Yes. Yeah. And then you figure it out, and there you are.
Figure it out.
Dude, this was so great. Thank you so much for your time. It's just a joy to meet you, and I really appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah, this is great.
Can you please tell people how to support you, get the album, all that good stuff?
Oh, yes. Okay. So you can get CDs or vinyl if you're into the physicals of Buddy's Magic Treehouse at megaran.com. There are plenty of download links. There's also tour dates there and information of where I'll be for the rest of the year.
Wow.
We are going to be in the Bay, and then we're going to be in London. And
Oh, cool.
then,
Great.
I'll be moving all over the place,
Yeah.
spreading the good word of the Treehouse.
You are so busy.
also-
like, I mean, just the amount you
I
put
stay
out
pretty
in
busy.
tour. Yeah.
Not as much as I used to. You know, I think just having the kid is
Yeah,
like
for
made
sure.
me want to stay home and be there for like important stuff. And so
Yeah.
it's gotta be good. You know, it's gotta make sense. And,
Yep.
or I gotta be able to bring the family. So
That's right.
you know, I've been doing a lot more family friendly stuff. So you might catch me at a library near you. We're working on a library tour to support the song I have the library drawing. And
I want to talk to you about this after we get off the air.
all right. Cool. So yeah, libraries, museums, all those things are where I want to be in the future. So if you are watching this and you hear something and you're like, oh man, my local library would love this, like, please contact us and we'll make it happen because I want to make sure I spread the word of the Treehouse. And it's really all about, you know, yes, having fun and getting good music in your system, but the main concept behind the Treehouse is just like safe spaces.
Yeah.
And I think when we think about that as a kid, like when I was a kid, like having a place where I could just kind of be myself, be free, be okay, and know that I was going to be all right. And I think that we have to make sure to give that to kids today too. So yeah, so just keeping that in mind at all times is just like, you know, letting kids be free to be kids.
That's right.
And and that's what it's all about.
I love it. All right, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everybody, normally my co-host Leighton closes out the podcast here with some sage words of advice for people. So I guess it's on me right now. I'm going to say, I think we ended it pretty well with say yes. Be a yes man.
Love it.
Cool. All right. Take care. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Leighton Night is produced by Brian Wecht and Leighton Gray. Sign up for our Patreon at patreon.com/Leighton Night. Follow us on Twitter at Leighton Night, on Instagram at Leighton_Night, or email us at leightonnight@gmail.com.